What up, y'all? Philly Fly Show checking in here, kicking it right way production studios, and we are here to start off another UFC 9-week. I almost said intervention. It isn't an intervention. We finally have UFC back. It was kind of weird to have a 2-week thing and then have a week off, but that's how the UFC works this year. Less fights at the Apex, more fights out in public and at venues and where fun is. I'm way more for it. This particular UFC event is a little weird, guys. And I am getting this out here at a normal time for me, but it's a weird time because of how early this is. I was trying to get it out last night, but I was just too tired from the week that I kind of had. Got sick this week, and hey, need a little extra sleep, so I figured I'd get this out in the morning. Had horrible technical difficulties with my computer, and finally got it up and running. So we are here. We're live. We are ready to put some bets in for the average Joes. Let's make some money. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had UFC pay-per-view 311, and man, was it. That was a great pay-per-view. Very, very, and probably one of the craziest nights I've ever had in my life. At the casino, just big things happened, big money happened, and not even sports gambling. This is all slot machine stuff. But it was fun. Very, very epic weekend. Epic, that's all I can say. But UFC 311 did bring it. Islam Makhachev showed us that he is still that top contender. The problem with Islam and his title defenses for me now, I just want him to face the tops and actually face the tops. Every time he gets one of the top guys that actually is going to fight him, they don't show up. They don't show up. They get injured. Something happens and the fight falls off. It's life. I'm not saying he is not the best lightweight out there. That's not. Don't take this the wrong way, Islam or any of Islam's followers. Love the guy. Think he is the top lightweight. It's just I want him to go take out the top tier guys now. Every single one of them. Okay? Before he moves to welterweight. I don't think he should move to welterweight yet. I think he should give it some time. People say what top tiers? I'd have to go through the rankings for one, and also by going through the rankings, we'd have to wait and see because you got guys like Max Holloway who could get up there. And I'm not saying Max could take Islam, but there's guys that are coming up that they could be the guy. Even Arman, even though he just backed out like a little wah, wah. That was weird. That sucked. But hey, it's life. It's what we made. It's what happens. All right. But what I was trying to say about that, I got the main event, right? Which, I've been on a slouch last year on, and I'm getting out of that slouch this year. But this was a good main event to get, but the co-main event got me bad, man. Umar, typical. The Jamal Hill loss got me, but I did say I could not really pick a side. I really wanted to go the Yuri side, but I just thought Jamal's power and striking were going to be better than Yuri's. I was totally wrong on that one. And then what was the other one that destroyed me? Oh, Nakamura losing destroyed a lot of people's cards. It destroyed a lot of my parlays. But we're going to jump out of that because we went 7 for 13, which is a decent number on there, but we're going to do better this week. We got UFC Fight Night in Saudi Arabia. They start at 8 a.m. for the prelims, and the main card starts at 11 a.m. Central Time if you go by Central Time. If you go by the East Coast time, it's going to be an hour forward, so 9 a.m., 12 noon. So if you go by that. But we got 11 legs here. We're going to jump right into it. Match leg number 11 is a heavyweight bout between Hamdi Abdulabab versus Jamal Porges. Now, Jamal and Hamdi are at a negative 110 pick'em. Has completely switched a little bit on the odds. They're going up and down. So when I got this, it was a complete pick'em. I'm picking it on the pick'em. I'm going Hamdi here. I think he gets a win here. I just think his wrestling is going to be too much for a boxing heavyweight, and especially an inexperienced boxing heavyweight. So I'm going to go with the wrestling there, and 1 out of 5 on the confidence level that he gets his hand raised. Match like number 10, we jump to the featherweight division. Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. Bogdan is a plus 100 underdog, whereas Lucas is a negative 120 favorite. Odds are already changing on that because money's going in on each of them. I'm going to go Bogdan here. I just think that wrestling and takedowns are going to be too much for the striker. The striker is more of a brawler MMA set, so he does got some grappling defense, but it's not to the extent that I think Bogdan's skill set is. So that is a 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He gets his hand raised after that. Match leg number 9 is Jasmine Judavicius versus Maya Bueno Silva. Maya is a plus 215 underdog. Jasmine, negative 265 favorite. Look, Maya just lost the bantamweight title shot 2 fights ago. Then she lost her last fight too. Very unfortunate, but I think Maya Bueno Silva going down to flyweight is kind of insane to me. And I just think that even though Jasmine is a killer and a brawler, this is not a girl you want to brawl with. She can fight. She can throw it. Her only thing is her gas tank. So her going down to this could be bad with Maya's gas tank. But I'm going to pick Maya here with just because of the experience. Plus 215 is looking pretty tasty with a girl with that experience. I'm taking it here. I'm only 1 out of 5 on a confidence level because Jasmine is a brawler and can kickbox. She can do it all, but I think Maya can stand in there, take a shot to give a shot, and I just think her shot could be more devastating. All right, match leg number 8, we'll jump into the lightweight division. Terrence McKinney versus Damir Hadzovic. Jeez, I almost screwed that one up really bad. Now, Damir's a plus 400 underdog, and Terrence McKinney's a negative 600 favorite. Terrence has lost fights as a big favorite before, so that's a thing to think of, but Damir is on the older side now in the UFC roster, and man, that guy there's something about him, and it seems like it's a downward slope. So I'm gonna go with Terrence McKinney on here, 3 out of 5 on the confidence level, but it's a little scary because, like I said, Terrence has came up short in a couple times recently. So, all right, match leg number 7 here. We're going through this a little quickly, guys, so I might throw together a last-second parlay here while I'm doing this, just because it's going through so quickly. I don't really want to do a parlay this week because last week's missed by 1 because of dang old Talbot, which was a bad loss. Oh, yeah, that guy got exposed last week too, but forgot to mention that one. That was a bad one. All right, we got Shamil Gaiza versus Thomas Peterson in the heavyweight division. Shamil's a negative 360 favorite, whereas Thomas is a plus 270 underdog, man. Shamil is a monster in the heavyweight division coming up as a prospect. But, dude, Thomas too, man. He's got it. But the thing is, Shamil, I just think his power is going to be too much. Like, it's hard to predict with heavyweights with the power, but, man, anyone can go to sleep. Anyone can go to sleep at any time. But that dude's... I'm going Shamil here. Negative 360. 1 out of 5, though, because the heavyweights are fighting that this happens. If you hear some snoring in the background, my dang dog snores so loud, and he's pretty old, so he sleeps all the time, so it's not like I can just wake him up and make him stop. So, hear a little snoring in the background. I'm sorry, guys. I can't get him out the room. All right. Match leg number 6, which is our feature prelim bout, is a featherweight fight between Muhammad Muhammad Naimov versus Khan Ofley. Now, Khan is a UFC prospect coming out. It looks like he's coming out of Australia, but I swear he's out the City Kickboxing. I'd have to look a little more into it, but I'm pretty sure that's where he's out of. And Muhammad, he had 1 bad fight, but he's had 3 great fights. His wrestling, his striking, and all that put together makes him a hard, difficult opponent. I think even though City Kickboxing is known for wrestling defense, they haven't been known for doing good at wrestling defense as of late, or striking defense as of late. So I'm going to go with the negative 370 favorite in Muhammad. Hopefully, plus 275, too much of a risk, even though it's a feature prelim bout, and he's a good prospect, hopefully, but man, Muhammad's just going to be too much for him. Way too much for him. So 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. Muhammad gets his hand raised after the fight. Now we'll jump to the main card here. Again, that's starting at 11 a.m. early time. Get your bets in now. Jump right into a lightweight fight between Fares Azayam versus Mike Davies. This is a banger fight, guys. Both these guys had great skill set and being great prospects coming up. They're on both major 4-fight win streaks, just beating bad dudes in the lightweight division. As y'all know, the lightweight division is the most stacked. The ranking system doesn't fit the system there because there's so many killers in that division. These are two killers you do not want to miss. Now, Ziam is a plus 120 underdog, whereas Mike's a negative 140. Like I said, those odds are going to change probably by the time you get to the window. Here's the difference maker for me, the kickboxing for Ziam. Ziam is a very, very skilled kickboxer. Dave's a very skilled striker, so it's going to be a banger fight, but I just think the kicks are going to be too much for him, and I think that Ziam's going to put it together and get his W of the night. I am only going 1 out of 5 on the confidence level because this fight is close and it's a don't miss fight. First fight on the main card is just a banger. Next fight, match link number 4, decent fight here, bantamweight fight. Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. Now, Oliveira's got a big win behind his belt. His last one. Said, he has lost a fight. He lost to Jonathan Martinez, exposed him a little bit, but negative 170 on Said, plus 140 on Oliveira. I think Oliveira's big win last time is not going to transition over to Said. I think Said's going to be way too much for him. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that Said gets his hand raised. Man, that dude can grapple. He can strike if he puts it together and actually sticks to a game plan. Ever since he's been called out by Khabib, though, he's done a lot better. So since his losing that fight to Jonathan Martinez, Khabib called him out. It's totally turned it around, it seems like. All right, now, third fight of the night here is a big fight for me. I think someone's going to sleep really bad this fight. Really bad. Heavyweight fight. Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Now, Rozenstruik's a plus 240 underdog. Sergey, negative 300 favorite. If you know Sergey, he fought for the title. He was on a crazy run, knocking dudes out in the first round. People couldn't get him out the first round. And now he's on a 2-fight skid. It happens in the UFC. Happens when you're an up-and-comer. Happens anywhere in pro division. It's how you bounce back. How is he going to bounce back? Well, he got a guy who's going to stand and bang with him. Now, those two are going to stand and bang. It's going to be bad for Rozenstruik. Anytime Rozenstruik got a guy with complete power who will take a strike from him, which Sergey will, we've seen that, it's been bad. The counter striking just isn't there for Rozenstruik. Now, he's on a decent win streak now and fought some decent guys and kind of got back in there. But my issue with him is going to be getting countered by a freaking Sergey Pavlovich left hook, right hook. You go nighty-night or an overhand. You go nighty-night. So, not going to be a good night for him. It's going to be it's going to be a quick night for Sergey. It's going to feel like a long night for Rozenstruik. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that Sergey gets his hand raised. Co-main event of the evening is another banger. It's another don't miss fight. Shara Makhmedov versus Michael Venom Page. Elite striking at its finest here. Now, I don't think Shara's fully onto that elite level. He's done some crazy things. Had a crazy cool knockout his last fight with the double spinning back fist. Only seen it one other time, I think, in the UFC. So it's a good maneuver. The problem is when you're in there with a guy like Michael Venom Page, you can't dictate that style of a fight coming at you. You just cannot. He's so different in his movements. It's going to be too hard for him. Shara, also in his last couple fights, it's brawls. It's not just been him pure domination. He's been getting in brawls. You don't get in a brawl with Michael Venom Page. You go to sleep when that happens if Michael Venom Page lands on you. So, negative 190 on Shara. 160 plus 160 on Michael Venom Page. I'm going Michael Venom Page here. It's going to be too much for him. He is not used to this type of striking, and if he does, let's just say I am wrong, which I can be wrong. It's happened. I'm not afraid to be wrong. Shara is on that elite level, so he can get that elite status from me if he beats Michael Venom Page, but he's not going to beat Michael Venom Page, guys. Nighty-night Shara in his Saudi Arabia favorite stadium to fight in. All right, now, freaking main event of the evening here, guys. Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdne Imavov. This is probably, for me, one of the hardest fights I've had to pick this year. You know it's an Israel Adesanya house. You know it's a city kickboxing house here at the Philly Fly Show. Hosted by me, Philly Fly Show guy. You know that Israel's my dude. Nassourdne Imavov is no slouch. Nothing against the guy. There's nothing against him. My fear, though, is Izzy's going to get beat. I think he wins because I think Nassourdne's going to try to do the stand-up thing, and it's going to be a bad night for him. But if at all it gets to grappling, man, Israel better be able to defend some takedowns against this dude because he can grapple and he can mix it up striking. That's where Izzy has been faltered against the cage, and that's my fear. If Imavov gets us against the cage the whole fight, it's a bad night for Izzy. If they stand at range, Izzy's got the win. But negative 160 on Izzy, plus 135 on Imavov. Usually I go with the grappler or the grappler striker, the mixture, whatever you want, the MMA specialist. But this is Israel Adesanya house, and I think he gets back in the win column. This is almost like getting back on the bicycle for him. If he is as good as he was, and he's not on the downfall of age, Israel Adesanya gets this done. He loses, though, tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow afternoonish. It's the downfall of Israel Adesanya. But I think he gets a W tomorrow. 1 out of 5, though, on the confidence level that he gets a W. That was hard. Guys, I didn't throw a parlay together for you. Pick your own parlay this week. I'm not doing it. Just can't do it. Not super confident in a lot of fights here. I am confident in fights. I just am not super confident putting on a parlay because of how slouchy my parlays have been. So we will see you next week, though, for a big UFC 312. Huge fight card. And I don't think it's in the morning, but if it is, it's going to suck. But I don't think it is in the morning. I think that one, they make them wait till the afternoon for us. Well, not the afternoon, but the nighttime for us. So shout out to Right Way Production Studios for always making this happen. And we will see you next week for UFC 312. Philly Fly Show is out. Peace out.